Hey, this is Matthew Harvey here for the 12 o'clock Siren, recording live at the 903 Broadband Studios on the Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left hand is James Joey Hartley.
I thought you were going to go with marsupials pouch.
I was going to go with that long acronym she gave us earlier, but I couldn't say it.
Well, I had a weird obsession. Like, we used to joke about marsupials pouch back in the day. You remember that? I had something about it on my voicemail. You remember that?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, anyway.
They're, never mind. Marsupial pouches.
You know, the possum is North America's only
marsupial. Is that
so,
right?
because I'm just enough white trash enough that's going to be my my pet is a possum.
A possum, that is pretty.
I want one.
They got some sharp teeth.
One.
Do you?
We did.
I'm obsessed with them.
Do you? Well, you know they don't live very long.
No, like 2 years, right?
And that's in the wild, and like 3 to 4 in human care.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of hard because I could see myself getting attached.
Yeah.
They're awesome animals.
They really are.
Yeah, they eat ticks. They're like immune to snake venom.
Yep, and they do not contract rabies, which is a huge.
We had one that would eat cat food on our porch. I called him Connor Opossum. He was Irish.
Yeah.
He's an Irish possum.
Yeah, he was Irish.
Yeah.
You may not recognize that voice. We do have two very special guests here today. Speaking there is Miss Cassidy Jagger and a wallaby, a baby wallaby yet to be named that we just put out on the Facebook to be named on this show, hopefully chosen by Cassidy, depending on what you guys are commenting. So hopefully there's comments by the end of this and it's not like something ridiculous that we end up having to name this wallaby. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cassidy's got the choice on this one, but this is Miss Cassidy Jagger.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I hope they don't try to name him like Jumpy McBouncy Boy or something.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like Wallaby McWallaby face. Or,
Yeah.
and I didn't say Roos2U is who you represent. Also, the Outback Roo Ranch of Texas in Howe, Texas.
Yeah.
Technically South Made,
Yep.
really southeast Sherman, off 1417 kind of.
Yep.
Is that
11
accurate?
miles from Whitesboro, so a little bit of everything almost.
That gives you a pretty good idea of where you're at. All right. Well, I met Cassidy probably 2 weeks ago. Mother-in-law, wife, kids went out there for a birthday and saw a bunch of wallabies, emus, kangaroos, porcupines, goats. Kookaburras, yeah.
Oh.
Those were impressive. And we want to talk to you about your setup, your programs, what you're doing out there.
Sounds good.
So tell us how you got in to exotic animals.
Well,
Exotics, I guess, right?
Well, first of all, before we get there, where did you grow up?
So I grew up on the East Coast, Maryland, about 20 minutes from Washington, D.C.
Big fan of Old Bay seasoning, are you?
Oh, my God, I tell you, I miss blue. They have to be Chesapeake blue crabs.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Yeah.
And it's not Old Bay, it's Maryland crab seasoning. It's a big difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So you grew up on the East Coast, 20 minutes of D.C.
Yep.
And is that where you graduated high school?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yep. And how long, like, did you always have an interest in exotic animals?
Well, I mean,
Kangaroos,
I love
wallabies?
animals. I mean,
Sure.
I'm definitely an animal person, So
Dog person? You like dogs?
I like dogs, yeah. We've got 2 livestock dogs and
Nice.
one herding dog that's not allowed. He's in the front of the property, and the livestock are in the back of the property because you don't want a herding dog around your kangaroos. It's not a good thing. No.
I've never talked to somebody that said you don't want a herding dog around your kangaroos.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a natural thing to say.
Some people just own kangaroos.
Yeah,
know?
like, how do we get to that status?
You probably don't want to unless you're properly set up for it.
Well, of course. We should adopt a wallaby or a roo as our like siren mascot, like a that should be the emblem.
No.
You know? No, well, I don't mean an actual one. I mean like just the emblem.
The emblem.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's safe. Okay,
no, I
that'd be
don't.
good.
No, you started talking about feeding them every 4 hours. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm too selfish with my time. But I will pet that roo.
Well, the reason I said it, that a lot of people think that they make good pets.
Oh, yeah,
and
they don't.
they do not make good pets. No, not at all.
Well, let's touch on that, but let's get back to your story. So,
Okay, so I basically, when I was much younger, in my early 20s, I dated an Australian surfer here, and then when his
Doesn't
his
everybody?
visa ran out, doesn't everybody?
Only in college, man. Only in college.
Did I just say that?
Not much of a surfer when you're on the East Coast, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
too. So
Right.
and then his visa ran out, so I went down there.
Oh.
And so that's when I first, kind of fell in love with him, but then wasn't back for quite a few years. And then my husband was doing a lot of speaking engagements there, so we started traveling down there a lot. And so I went to a place that's called Featherdale. So if you're ever in Australia, you should go to Featherdale. And it's kind of similar to what we do, except for you don't have a docent. It's not as educational. But
Docent. I'm not familiar with that term.
docent is you hear about somebody who in like in museums and stuff. That you
Oh.
with them and they're explaining to you and kind of
Gotcha.
teaching you the entire time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like the closest thing that zoos have is when you have like
Curator?
a recording.
Like a
Docent.
curator?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
sort of. Yeah, sort of like a curator.
Okay.
but like
But a
the
curator
audio.
they have a lot more different responsibilities. A docent can just be somebody who comes in and that's all they do. is
Subject matter
lead stuff.
expert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this place didn't have that. But you could lay down on the ground with kangaroos.
Yeah, and you're like,
and
"I'm sold."
wallabies, and that's all she
Yeah.
wrote. Yeah. So that's how I first fell in love with them, and then I started off having one wallaby, and then kind of grew from there. I fell in love with them, so I came to Texas to work on a ranch here.
Is that when you realize that for the average person, they don't make the best pets?
Well,
You got one, and you're like, oh.
well, no, I mean they don't make good pets because people don't realize. I mean, it's one of those
The amount
things
of
where
work.
you get something cute and you think, oh, it's so cute, it's going to be. Yeah, they don't understand the
They,
expenses.
they grow up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they grow up, and even when they don't grow up, it's a big responsibility.
Sure.
And you also need to make sure that it's legal and all those other things.
Yeah, and I would guess like, it's one thing to take your dog to the vet. It's another to take your wallaby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's the word I'm looking for?
Probably
Niche
specialized.
healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Specialized veterinary.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and they're few and far between. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that I know. I'm telling you, no exaggeration. Almost every day, I have a phone call. From
Are you willing to
somebody
take mine?
who has somebody who
Oh.
has a medical issue or
Who
is
do you
having
go
an
to?
issue or a problem, and they don't know what to do. And then I'm like, well, where's your vet? Who's your vet? Well, I don't have one. I can't find one. I can't. So it is a big problem. And even if you do have a vet, vets don't always stick around. So now what are you going to do? You
Yeah.
know, and it's expensive. It's really expensive.
Right.
They're very hardy, but they're also very fragile at the same time.
Sure.
So, they're not native to our country, so a lot of things are toxic for them that they can't eat. You've got to know what's on your
Yeah, true.
lawn.
Wow,
Or
yeah.
what are the weeds? What can fly in there? If you've got a red
wow.
maple next door and those leaves fly in, it's toxic. It's just it really is a lot more involved than people think.
I'm glad I never just on a whim got a wallaby.
He was going to buy one
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I bet.
Well,
I bet if you go to his search logs.
And no joke though. My sister really wanted one at one time and like heavily considered. I'm guessing she looked into that, and that's why she never did. But she was obsessed with them, and she never got one. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that conversation.
Yeah. I
So-
can understand her obsession. I mean, they
Oh,
are
they're
awesome.
awesome.
They're absolutely awesome for
Yeah.
sure.
Did you see that the picture he took and posted on the? That's the most genuine smile I've had in months.
Yeah, no, it's a great picture.
Yeah, thanks.
That's nice.
Yeah. 2 drinks and a wallaby in my arms. I'm like, man, life can't get
Life's
any better.
I
good.
mean, in a bridal suite,
Yeah,
too.
in a bridal suite podcast studio. So okay, so you moved to Texas. You worked on a ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this area.
Yeah.
No, okay, cool. And did you go back to Maryland?
Yeah. So I did. I went back to Maryland. Your parents are getting older, and
Sure.
what have you, and that's where family is. And then when that was over, then it was time to. I mean, we couldn't get back to Texas fast enough.
I like that energy.
Yeah. Love Texas.
So how long have you been here this second time?
I guess maybe a year and a half.
Oh, okay, so this is
Yeah.
pretty recent then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is pretty
Wow.
recent. Yeah.
So Northeast Texas, you're like, that's home. We're going back there.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where I first ended up in Texas.
Sure.
So because I have friends here, and it's always already kind of established.
Sure.
That's where we and the humidity in Maryland, D.C. is pretty bad.
Pretty
so
rough. Yeah.
yeah. So start getting down in southern Texas, and might as well live.
Yep.
Humidity's bad.
So, question: You've got there's obviously a network of people that have similar interests to you, right? Like, are there?
She's on one of those forums on Facebook.
I'm sure, yeah.
That
like,
we're not part of, but
Yeah.
you're in.
but there's a
into that
whole
community.
subculture out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is Texas where, or is there a area of the United States that there just are nobody that has these exotic animals, or is Texas more open to it, or?
Well, Texas is more open to exotic
Right.
animals to begin with. So
Sure.
yes, I mean I would say that Texas probably has the most, the most kangaroos.
Rogan
and
says there's
wallabies.
more tigers in Texas than the world.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's
Free in the world.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, we won't go there.
But as far as like the climate and stuff, does that play in a part too? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it does.
you
but
might not want wallabies in Seattle, Washington, or something.
Well,
right?
actually, the wallabies, there's lots of different species. So that's another thing,
Oh.
So, like, we have 4 different species at the ranch. And they all come from or originate from different regions, in Australia. So, we forget that, Australia's, it's a lot like the United States,
Yeah, it's
except
massive.
for, the whole middle of it, basically, you've got desert,
Yeah.
and most of the population is in coastal. It's not necessarily like at the beach coastal, but,
Sure.
you head more, away from the outback and more into, the other areas. So, like the reds, for instance, the red kangaroos, this is they love Texas.
Really?
It's very, very similar. It's
They
hot.
do well.
They do very well. Yeah. So they're like, when it starts to become wintertime, they're like, well, this is not good. But
Yeah.
people forget in the desert, especially in the winter, it gets cold at night.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And people don't, you kind of think about that. So they certainly they can handle pretty cold weather, but doesn't, mean that they want to, but, they'd be doing it in the wild as well. And so like the Joey that you held, that's a Bennett's wallaby. They originated from Tasmania. So they got that really cool furry coat that, so you'll see them out in the snow and sleet. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And their coat has a bit of like a repellent on it. So it takes a while for it to really get in there.
You mentioned
Soft like rabbit.
Yeah.
like a rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people they think that koalas are soft and kangaroos aren't, and then koalas are wiry. And,
Ah.
and kangaroos and wallabies are soft.
Koalas have some crazy diseases.
I think this
too.
dog looks like a kangaroo.
What don't?
When she gets
Stella?
up, she's got like the kangaroo chest.
Oh yeah.
She looks just like one.
The
I mean,
kangaroo
I don't know.
chest.
You had mentioned going to Australia and being in Australia. Did you ever actually make it to Tasmania? Have you ever been?
No, I didn't.
It
actually
seems like a
make it
cool place to
Tasmania.
go.
Yeah, and I would love to go there, but now my trips there are, they're around bushfire time, and you're working the entire time.
Really?
It's like people are like, so what did you do? It's like didn't see
Just
a thing
worked.
except for you work, you drop, you get up, and you do it again. So when I'm too old, which I'm getting there, to be camping out, and doing that, then maybe I'll see some more,
Sure.
of it. But it depends on wherever the bushfires are. You're kind of stationed in that area for a long period of time.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been to Kangaroo Island either, which
Really?
I would love to do. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one.
Just learned
There is.
something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's an island off of Scotland that you can't get off your boat, but you can take your boat up to the shore, and it's nothing but wallabies. Yeah. And
Scotland.
So, in Scotland, right off
Whoa.
of Scotland, and that's pretty cool. Somebody brought them there, and then they just
We're doing
Drive.
a public service here.
I
We
know.
really are.
We are This is an educational
This is
podcast
terrific.
today.
travel agents too.
But I
Yeah.
just got a vision
My folks
of,
are going to Scotland this year.
of like wallabies like holding a bottle of scotch, like
Eating
anyway.
Pete.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, actually, no,
Yeah,
they would
they
like
would.
that.
They
yeah.
would like Pete.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's a good little segue into kind of our experience at your place, if you want to go through that.
Sure.
So my mother-in-law got us an experience at your place, my wife and kids, for niece's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to your place and pulled up, and you greeted us and gave us basically a few bags of food, and took us in to kind of take us from there on what you might see at your place.
Kind of what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I recall, you guys came. We have a couple of different alternatives of type of visits that you can do, but
Yeah.
they are all private. So we're not open, Saturdays and Sundays 9 to 5, that kind of thing. It's private. You're the only group that's there. You have a docent the entire time that's taking you around and teaching you. And, I always say, that, we're going to yak the entire time. You can tune us in, tune us out, not offended. But we really want people to also learn when they're there. But it is a lot of fun. And so you guys, I think, did Meet the Mob. And that's where you get to meet all of the animals, which is what I always usually suggest people start with. Because then we also have, others that you can choose from that, kind of branch off from there. So you guys basically, you get to meet we have 27 kangaroos and wallabies. So that's a lot. You get to meet all of them. It really is behind the scenes. You go into the habitats and you feed them and you pet them, and they're all hand raised for the most part. I'd say 95% of them are. So you really get to learn about them. And most people, they don't have the opportunity to go to Australia. When you go to the zoo, a lot of times you're lucky if you even see whatever is supposed to be in that, area. So this is, I think it's an amazing opportunity, and I do think it's a really magical opportunity as well. And you're not allowed to go in to the very last enclosure because we do have what most people are familiar with as being kangaroos, which are the big red kangaroos. Mm-hmm. So we do have a male. His name is Rufus, and he's a very good boy.
It's a good one.
But you have to remember, just because we hand raise them, they're still wild animals. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, and we have to respect that. So
and they're jacked. Like they've been taking testosterone.
Yeah,
you like pushed him or something, like just kind of gave him a little hard time. Like gave him a little attitude when you were in the enclosure.
No, that was little Adonis. He's the other little male.
Maybe,
yeah.
He might have bowed up on me.
Yeah, so that's
and
what it was.
You like gave him get back there.
Yeah.
Get back in line.
Nervous?
Yeah, no, I did.
I would have too.
Yeah,
well, but
I didn't bow
Adonis
up. I backed
he's a
off.
juvenile.
Yeah.
He's a
Got
juvenile.
all submissive.
Yeah, I said no kangaroo.
Yeah.
Or
Gave him your wallet.
Yeah, well.
Now you're gonna have people making a picture of like you're in there with it.
Yeah.
Adonis he's a juvenile, and so when they're juveniles, that's when they're learning how to spar, and it's just a natural thing for them. But you don't want to encourage that behavior. And he's got about 4 more months, and then he's gonna have his own habitat, and off he goes.
That'll be my last stop on my MMA training.
Yeah.
Throw me in there with them. That's how we do it in Northeast Texas.
There's a lot of footwork that goes along that you can learn there for sure.
How many wallabies do you have in the little wallaby one that we were in?
So the wallabies are in all except for where Rufus is.
Okay.
So the main one that you went into, that's where James Dean. He's the male in there. Gosh, you know what? I really don't know. I just know what our total is at this point is 27.
Okay.
And so
I mean, it's probably 15 or so, I would say.
Yeah, and the first one, there's quite a few wallabies when you go in there.
Yeah.
And a few of them will be relocated in a couple weeks. Now, once we get all these strange cold nights, that they're not going to pop up on me. The albino that you met, Odin, he'll have his own mob, which you call a group of kangaroos, and then his females, which is a harem. He'll have his own, and so it'll be a little less in there.
Cool.
Dude's always trying to get harems.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't blame him, right?
I know.
The other one that I thought was cool and would do a pet if it was a nice pet was the Patagonian.
Yeah.
That thing was so cool. I think you had one or two.
Yes, we have 3 of those.
3, okay.
So they are from South America.
Real pretty.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of strange looking, though, aren't they? They're like a deer and a rabbit and a kangaroo.
It's like
all
if I
put
drew
together.
a guinea pig from memory.
But that's what they are. They're cavies, which is they're wild guinea pigs.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hit it right on the nose there. But yeah, they've got these spindly little legs.
Have you seen them?
You're like,
yeah, this brought me down a rabbit hole. My mom works weird. Totally off topic. Have you ever been around a capybara?
Yeah.
Are they awesome?
They are awesome, but they again, it's something that people really need to know.
Yeah.
What it is that they're raising and taking care of.
Yeah, because you can get them cheap here, actually.
Yeah, which is not necessarily a great thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, they're the largest rodent in the world. Yep, they're big.
Yeah.
But you really have to have water for them. They have webbed feet. They're designed to live a lot in the water.
Right.
They mate in the water. They urinate and defecate in the water, and it's very important for their skin as well.
Sure.
So, unfortunately,
like any other exotic, there you need to.
Yeah, you need to kind of do your homework, but they're awesome. I mean, they're
I'm kind of obsessed with them a little bit. So
yeah.
anyway,
But,
sorry.
you go down to Louisiana and get you a nutrient there.
Well, we
Real
got
cheap.
nutria in Texas too. Yeah.
Patagonian cavy.
Patagonian cavy. They're also called maras.
Well,
Do they have for the maybe interested in pet owner? Do they have any specific needs as far as ownership
They
goes?
actually, I mean, you got to make sure,
Fairly-
obviously, once again, that they're legal where you are. But they actually do make pretty good pets. You can litter box train them. You can harness train them as well. And basically, you would want to treat them like an inside dog, though, because the bad thing about cavies is they're diggers, so they like to dig a lot. So, if you put them out for 15 minutes, it's not like they're going to be digging to China in 3 seconds flat. But you can't just put them out there and not, check on them and supervise them.
Sure. I'm going to say something, and people listening might call me a liar next time they see me, but I saw for the second time in my entire life a ringtail cat in the wild
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
in this
Well,
area. Actually, late last week, midnight, saw it.
You mean the
crossing the
second
road.
time, like in the same area in your life?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other one was out. I live just north of here, just 5 minutes. And again, it was that night. And I saw it in a tree. The first time I didn't know what it was. And I took some research because I was like, no, that's not what it was. It looked, to me, it looked like a fox in the tree. And I was like, and I found a picture of a ringtail cat. And I was like, that's what I saw. Yeah, this is the second time.
Escaped
Maybe.
pet.
Could have been a pet. But I mean, they're more southwest, but I mean, they have them all over the hill country in
It
Texas.
can be.
But,
Okay.
So anyway,
Huh.
just as we're talking about weird animals, yeah, kind of. I called Jason actually and was like, "Dude, I just saw a ringtail."
Wow.
So yeah. Anyway,
Don't
sorry,
feed it.
I didn't. I just kept driving. I was like, "Hey, cat."
Pretty
Kept
sure I
going.
saw a jaguarundi once.
A what?
Jaguarundi.
What is that?
It's a elusive black cat, and that can be in Texas. You ever heard of it?
No.
I've never heard of that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
sounds
no,
like somebody told Matthew something.
Yeah. Well,
Is this
no.
like a chupacabra?
my
Yeah,
wife and
it's
I,
like-
my wife and I saw something in Childress, Texas, and it was.
Yeah?
That's all I could figure out is it was.
In
Wow.
Childress, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was long, black, and fast.
Yeah.
Jumped. Leapt like across the road,
Yeah.
Really
across a ditch. It was
interesting.
impressive.
I saw a fawn-colored larger cat, 2015, out on my property during the
Yeah.
day.
There's been
Oh, yeah.
actually recently a lot of the
A lot of
a lot
sightings.
of cougar, mountain lion sightings.
A lot of
because-
game cam footage.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
good
but
question.
They're
You get
usually they're just but they're
they're moving. They're
moving
transient,
through.
right?
Yeah, they're transient. They're just moving through.
you get any strange predators out there?
Yeah.
With,
Well, I don't know
what's your-
necessarily that they're strange, but we have coyotes. I mean,
Oh,
the
sure,
minute
yeah.
that the sun is going down, you hear that
Mm.
distinctive coyote sound. But our livestock dogs, we have an Italian Maremma, and they're bred for killing bears and wolves. They're from the Italian Alps, and then we have a Pyrenees, and that's from
Yeah.
the French Alps. So they're very similar. But they're awesome. I mean, they amaze me. They don't need any training to know
Just
what
in the
it is that
blood.
they're doing. And so the younger one, the Pyrenees, the older one, Jack, is training him. I mean, we don't have. I mean, you have to train him to sit, that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
other than that, it's just he's just following Jack and learning what to do. And
That's cool.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I really don't worry about the coyotes. Now, I mean, if we had a mountain lion or something, I'd be a little bit more worried about that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any bobcats yet, though I hear that they are around.
they are around.
Yeah.
We see those. That was the
we
conversation.
got one on a camera. Not long
Yeah,
ago.
I mean, I occasionally see them on the road, very occasionally, once a year maybe, whatever. But they're around.
So the first enclosure we went to was the birds.
Ah, the kookaburras.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing. They're so amazing. So that's Bonnie and Clyde. They are a breeding pair. And we waited a very, very long time for them. The breeder, breeds for the zoos. And so we were very fortunate because we thought, well, we're going to be lucky when we get one. He called us and he said, whoever was before us, I don't know what the story was, but they weren't taking them, and asked if we wanted a breeding pair. So, of course, we did a backflip. That was a silly question to ask. Yeah, we wanted them. And they are they're carnivorous. And so they eat lizards and mice and, fish and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool because we go in and we'll hold the mouse up. The mouse is already, no longer
humanely
with us.
dispatched.
Yes, alive no more, so to speak. But it's not gross. It's not like like raptors where they like tear everything apart.
Yeah.
They swallow it whole, all in one.
Wow. Like a
fell
snake
swoop.
or something.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, pretty much. It really is. It's amazing. And then sometimes I don't know if they did it when you were there, but I'm always hoping that they're going to take it and slam it across.
Yeah, they did.
Which is what they do in the wild. So
When we were there, the one got both of the mice because the other one was just kind of not into it.
yeah.
But
So
he
they
slammed both. Bam,
Yep.
and they got
That's
big
cool.
beaks, big thick.
Yeah,
thick
they're in the
beaks.
kingfisher family, so they've got some good beaks on them there. So which is neat to watch. And like once a week, we go to Petco and get them those little feeder fish, that they have there, and it's fun to watch them. They literally fish for them, so it's good enrichment for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange because they stick their beak in there, and if they're not successful and they're all wet, they kind of shake their face, and it's like it's like,
Frustrated. And
yeah, you're gonna get wet if you're gonna go fishing, dude. So yeah, but.
funny.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool to watch them do that because it's it's like a little window into the wild. That's
Sure.
what they'd be doing. That's what they'd be doing there. Now we haven't done lizards yet. That's to come. But in the summertime, boy, these crickets are really stupid when they go in there because they never come out.
That's right. Yeah.
Good.
It's
I
cool
hate
to see.
crickets. I have a blood feud with crickets.
They should have been here
Yeah.
in the summer. Or
Oh,
the
yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
The fall of
Like 2000 or
96,
whatever, yeah.
98.
Yeah,
we had
Awful.
like a cricket infestation. It was like
they
a
were.
biblical
I don't know about
plague.
y'all, but it was really bad. This year it was.
Wasn't
I
bad
was
here.
amazed. It was bad. Where
Nothing
we
like
are.
it was
Really?
in '98.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we had to put like these little glue traps, like
They turned the
all
light off,
over.
the lights off on the square because it attracted too many.
It
Wow.
would
Well, you could
stink.
spin. So you could spin your
Oh.
tires on the pavement.
Oh
of it.
yeah, that's creepy.
It was
Yeah.
like biblical.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it
you know,
was.
Yeah, that's a little horror story
Yeah,
kind of
it
thing.
was.
Yeah.
It was
It's
bad.
like it was like a B movie Alfred Hitchcock
You'd had
movie.
some
You know?
fat cockaburras.
Yeah.
They'd be happy.
Kookaburra?
That's for sure.
Kookaburra?
Kookaburra.
Yeah.
sorry.
So they're the laughing bird of Australia. I mean, most people grow up in school singing, the kookaburra and the gum tree, song.
Oh.
Laughing bird.
I
But
feel
they
like
are. They're loud. They call them the Bushman's clock because they, dusk and dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a rooster. I mean, it's the
Sure.
same concept. And so Aboriginals would keep track of.
I know it's cliche, but I feel like everything in Australia wants to kill you, though.
Yeah, no, that's the saying.
Yeah.
Everything that wants to kill you lives in
I mean,
Australia.
like they had some of the most venomous snakes, the
Mhm.
funnel web spider, the little irukandji jellyfish thing
You see the
that you can't
huntsman
even
spider?
No.
see. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like the size of a crab.
Oh no, see,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
and
out.
not a blue crab either.
Yeah, like a-
Dungeness crab.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like my friends will send me pictures of them. Like, yeah, I had a huntsman up there on the dining room wall. It's like,
And are they
okay.
venomous or it's just a big scary
No,
spider?
I think they're just a big scary spider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the
but
camel
they're-
spiders in Iraq or whatever.
yeah,
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
yeah.
Anyway, so kookaburras.
From the kookaburras, we went to the little spiny guys,
Spiny guys.
little spiny boys.
little spiny boys. I forget their names. Boy
He's
and
not
girl.
gonna be a docent, is he?
Yeah, no,
No,
no.
I'm not.
In training, maybe.
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to,
No,
to
no,
outshine
I
me
get it.
here.
I appreciate
Educate
it. Yeah, I
him.
appreciate it. Yeah. The African crested porcupines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
So
they're
we
really-
do have porcupines here.
Yeah, but those are North American
Yeah.
porcupines,
No,
and
sure.
so they actually, I would rather run into an African
Really?
crested than one of ours, because ours, their quills are barbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's no fun. I mean, most people, I know you've seen the footage in
Yeah.
Animal Planet where they have the vet and
Homeward
the
bound.
dog. Is,
Yeah.
and they're all yeah. So yeah, the African crested, they're not barbed. They're not barbed at all. And ours are
just
really
poke
good
you and you're good.
ambassadors.
It's like
They are harness trained, and they're pretty awesome. And it's hard for us to get them to show you what they do
Yeah.
for predators because they're like, "Psst,
Yeah.
we're not gonna, But they usually, I mean, they were probably pretty good.
They're
I don't know if they
cute
rattled
little
their tail.
faces. They're
Yeah,
what are they? They're a rodent.
yeah, they
Right.
are rodentia. Yeah, they are. But they're just. They
Soft-
also are full of a lot of personality as well
Really?
too.
Softer, like coarse horse hair
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
front.
yeah,
and
they've
then
got like a big.
So you can
yeah.
pet them backwards, I'm guessing, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you would. Yeah, from front
Front
to
to
back.
back.
but like right
Yeah.
on top of their head, pretty much was like
Yeah, right on top of their
horse-
head
horse
is like
type
it
hair.
is like it's like kind of like a horse tail. You
Oh,
know?
okay.
It's much softer and it's so
The
you know,
quills or spines? What is it? Which one?
quills.
Quills.
Yeah.
They're like feathers,
Yep.
basically like big
Yeah.
but probably harder.
Well, yeah.
Tiny boys.
They're
They
not
had a few
like,
on the
what do you
ground,
mean
like
they're-
you could pick them up and
Yeah, yeah. You
like
can pick
hollow,
them.
and
They
I mean,
fall out just like our
it's like a
hair does. They
feather.
just fall out.
it's like a feather, whatever.
Quill.
Quill.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
quill.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we just came full circle there.
Man,
We worked through that one.
glad you were here for
Yeah.
that one.
I'm glad we got a docent here.
Get us through that.
Built-in
Otherwise,
doses.
it's just
Right.
us on Google. You know,
Yeah.
Googling what is quill.
They had. Did they rattle their tail for you when you were there?
Yes,
Yeah.
one time.
So they have a tail. It sounds like a rattlesnake,
Ah,
and they rattle it to let
Looks like a-
predators know.
Kind
But
of like a beaver tail.
I'm
Yeah.
really into animals. I'm really not into snakes. I'm not a herpetologist. I don't like
No.
them. Not a fan.
yeah, I'm always wanting one of the baby snakes to go in where the kookaburras are.
See what
And,
happens.
Yeah, I think we need to put like a webcam.
Yeah, you
up
should.
There, so
Geez, the Dallas Zoo did a number with that, with the giraffe giving birth for like 6
Oh, yeah.
months. They were like,
Yeah.
it's
Those things-
today.
Yeah.
They will attract some
Yeah,
Yeah.
watchers.
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Good idea.
So
From there,
Or put it in the one of the wallabies. Well, we call them bedrooms because
Yeah, sure.
they got beds and everything.
they're
Kinda spoiled,
they're
yeah.
pampered here.
Yeah, but it's
They weren't-
pretty funny.
they
have
weren't doing it in the beds when I was there.
no,
Man, they were not bashful.
they were. Yeah, there was
It's springtime,
some
man.
Nat Geo
Yeah, it
moments
was.
for
Yeah.
sure. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
From the porcupines, we went to the goats.
Oh Lord. The bucks, the male goats.
What were the porcupine names?
Oh, Elvis and Priscilla.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, on
Okay.
the
Yeah.
goats.
Goats are, yeah, male goats are, they're kind of, they stink.
They do
Yeah,
stink.
they do. And, right now we're lucky because it's not hot, you
Yeah.
know, and there's a breeze always, but you can smell them from the kookaburras when you get into summertime. And, so, but my vet has goats and, she's like, just shave off their beard. It'll help a little bit because, yeah. We won't go there. I won't tell you. You can imagine
It's just
why
funky.
they stink.
I've
they
seen some
do with their
videos.
beards. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's- but they are also very amusing.
Oh, they are. They have
Very
personality too.
amusing.
Yeah.
Then they're named after the Addams family, and each one of them really kind of has the personality of what their name is.
Ah,
So they are fun to watch.
they're not the fainting goats, are they?
They are. They're
Oh,
myotonic goats.
see, I was waiting.
Yeah, they're myotonic goats. They are fainting goats.
The first time you ever witnessed that, were you like, "Oh, I get it now"? That's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
funny.
it's hysterical. It truly is hysterical. And you feel guilty laughing too because
it's
but-
a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah,
Like-
it is not bred into them. It's genetic. So
Really?
Mother Nature, that's on her. It's not on
Yeah.
me. I mean, it is what it is, but
Hey,
it is hysterical.
I scare my wife sometimes too. Like,
Does she faint, too?
She doesn't faint,
Yeah.
but she does scream. So
Well, they don't scream. That would be even more hysterical if they did that.
Have you seen the screaming
Yes.
goats? Though? Those
Yes.
are
Yeah.
equally as hysterical.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
I love the one that's merged in with a Taylor Swift song.
Oh,
It
yeah.
gets to the part that screams. Yeah, that's funny. I have a very lowbrow sense of humor. I'm very easily amused.
That's a good thing. Keeps life happier.
How long? We were talking about possums living 2 years or 4 years with humans.
Yeah.
How long like wallaby and kangaroo lifespans?
Well, so it's actually kind of debatable. I mean, you have two different things you've got in the wild.
Sure.
That's kind of a different situation. And then you have, again, under human care. But, you'll see a lot of times, and this is my opinion, you'll see published, it'll say 12 to 15, years.
Oh, okay.
But
Like a long-lived dog.
yeah, well, I kind of feel like 10 is a better average, to
Really?
be honest
Okay.
with you. And that's just based upon my years of experience. So, but you will see it, printed that it's 12 to 15.
Gotcha. Do you that's probably a personal question, but do you get attached to them as you would a dog, or is it a little bit more like livestock kind of?
Or do they get attached like
No.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. They're not like livestock at
Yeah.
at all. It is.
Anytime you're naming them,
Yeah, that's true. Right. Yeah, that's for
We
sure.
don't really name our cattle. I mean, there's a couple that if they have a extra personality,
Yeah.
Goofy or something like that.
yeah,
Come on
like this one's Baldy, or it's usually
T-Bone.
a physical. Yeah.
We have a bull.
Do you
Yeah.
just cause?
Well, he's pretty cool.
Yeah?
His name is Mick, and he's a standard miniature Scottish Highland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he is
Yeah.
cattle.
Is that because your last name's
That's
Jagger?
debatable.
I just put that together.
Well, we did.
Ah.
We named him Mick, but yes, because my last name is Jagger, but more so because when he was a calf, you'd come out of the back and he would see the bottle. And he just danced and
danced.
flipped all around, and
Yeah.
it was
Poofed his
so
lips
moves
out.
like
Very
Jagger.
Nick-like. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
he's pretty cool, but he's not going to be a bull much longer because.
Well, and he's a
Enjoyed the
miniature, though,
scratches.
right?
Well, he's
No,
a
he's
standard miniature.
Okay,
so
so you
he's
don't
not,
have to like artificially inseminate the heifers or the cows of that, because I know some of these like super miniature ones they can't even breed naturally.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No, he's not like a dog size.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Well, he was when he was a calf.
It's a huge business, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not. That's not really my cup of tea. Where they
De-
literally don't
designer
even
animals.
look like
I know.
they're like morphed.
It's
No.
weird.
No, he just looks like a little small bull.
Yeah,
At this
that's
point.
cool.
But he's got a lot of character.
Really?
He does. And we've got cattle on each side of us.
Ah,
So, he's talking to the ladies a lot, and they're talking back. and I'm
Really?
like, "Well, get out of your system now. Because
How-
it's
how
gonna be
big
much
is he?
longer.
how much would he weigh? Would you say?
How much would he? Oh gosh, I'm not good at that. But like, if I was like standing next to him, his hindquarters kind of come up to your chest.
Really?
For me, yeah.
Okay, so he's not.
He's a nice
tiny.
size.
Yeah.
No, he's not tiny.
Yeah, he's
but
not like a big
he's-
Bramer
But
bull,
when you put him next to
Yeah.
a real bull,
Yeah.
then you realize how small he really
yeah.
is.
But he's bigger than like say a Mastiff or whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
he's done growing, but his horns are not done growing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're itching a lot, so that makes him,
See out there.
yeah.
He enjoyed the scratches.
He enjoys the scratches. He likes you to pull on his horns, but he also, when he's playing with you, those horns are coming towards you.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Got to be aware.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're not going to be a bull much longer.
I don't think I got a picture of Mick.
And he's
I
what,
didn't,
what
they did.
Usually Scottish Highlanders are like that rust sorrel colored.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
And he's not. So my
What is he?
friend who breeds them, I said, call me when you get a calves, and he did. And he's like, oh, you want this one? It's a teddy bear, and he's really cool.
Cool.
And so I was sold on him. Yep, that's Mick.
That's cool.
I was sold on that one, and then they were walking with that one, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? So he
Porcupine close up.
Awesome.
yeah.
Very awesome.
That's Priscilla.
Very
Wow,
awesome.
you can tell.
Yeah. So I guess when I was saying like you don't name your cattle, I meant like our beef cattle.
I know. I'm
you
just
know?
giving you a hard time. Yeah. I'm telling you, I could not name something and,
And know you're gonna
raise
eat
it
later.
and then eat it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Kookaburra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So I turned my phone off, but my ringtone is Kookaburra.
So y'all have those aren't
There's a good one.
big, right?
Mick.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good
Oh,
Mick.
that's
Mick
yeah.
pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
He could totally be a pet, right?
Is that a
I mean,
Mick
like,
pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Unsolicited Mick pick.
There's me and Mick. Jeez, I got a bunch of them.
And you
See?
didn't think you had any. But so I don't mind small birds.
Mhm.
Not a big fan of the emus and ostriches.
Well, so they are small, but we do
Yeah.
have emus.
That's
They kinda
that's the
weird
next
me out.
enclosure.
They weird me
You
out.
can't look them in the eye.
Did you? Well,
Or
Was the
don't
male
they have a
down
thing?
there, or
Don't
was
they have a
he-
thing about eyes?
did I take you guys out there?
We went up to the fence and they were kind of
Okay.
running around. They both ran to the back,
Oh, okay.
and you're like, that's what they're gonna run
Well,
the back.
because this is they're young. This is the first time that they've had a clutch. They have eggs, and the males sit on the eggs like the penguins do.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why we normally go in. Whoever wants to go in can go in, and people you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's not like
Yeah.
one of those things. So I ask people, and some people are like, yeah, and other people are like, nope, I'll just stand right here. That's okay.
I don't like the big birds, man.
Yeah.
They
But see,
freak me
again,
out.
They're
you know,
so cool to
They're
watch
hand,
run,
but
though.
they're hand raised.
Sure,
and
yeah.
that does make a difference.
Oh, I bet. I
know?
bet they're fine. I don't know, man. The big birds, they
Some
weird me
big
out.
legs.
yeah,
Um,
but they're not
leg-
like
those
ostriches,
things are
man.
powerful.
Ostriches are that would scare. Ostriches would scare me.
so I'm gonna show my ignorance here. I can't really tell the difference. Like, if you show
Oh,
me
you
side
would.
by
Yeah, you
side,
can
I'm
tell. They're
sure.
darker right
Yeah,
there.
Ostriches are like get to 9 feet tall. You
Oh,
tell the
okay.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
emus are more like 5, maybe
Oh,
6.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that Northwest Arkansas drive-through.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell a story.
You got a promo code for them or something?
No.
Jeez.
We were going. Well, it is amazing. It's a great place. But we were driving through, and they had a bunch of them. one or the two. I don't know.
Windows up or down?
Well, up, right? Because the person with me, I will call no names, really doesn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
But on the way up there, this person, and he'll know, he's listening, kept turning on my seat heater, while I was driving. I'm like, God, why's my, oh, all right, ha, 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 turn on my seat heater. So we got there, we're driving through, and he's looking out the window, and he's like, look at those ugly things, man, I hate those. And one came up, and they were looking at each other, and I rolled the window down.
Oh.
And he did not like that. He's like, whoa, whoa. And it was the best reaction I've ever.
You're not
ever
talking
heard.
about Jim Ostrich McDonald, are you?
No,
Okay.
no,
That would have made sense.
no.
Okay.
But I'll just say it. I'm talking about Jason.
Okay.
That was with Jason. Yeah. So shout out to you there, Mr. Fuller. Yeah, it terrified him. Honestly, it made me uncomfortable rolling the window down too, but the comedic potential overruled my good sense. So
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
They're not friendly, Yeah. I don't think I'd ever own a drive-through, especially I wouldn't have, no. Mm-mm.
It had a hippo. Hippos
Oh,
are cool.
yeah. Hippos are very cool.
Yeah.
Hippos are also really dangerous.
Really
too.
dangerous.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of lot of big cats,
Mhm.
and that was cool. It seemed also very well ran and taken care of, and we got to go in. I pet a cougar and a white tiger and a wolf cub. That was really cool. I was like, there's some bucket list items, So I will tell you though, the tiger, it was really young.
Yeah.
But I was petting it, and it was real cool. And then it looked at me like, that's enough. And I was like, okay, that's enough.
We're done here.
And it was probably like 30 pounds, but I was like,
Mhm.
it's enough. Anyway, there's my aside.
Once again, that's North Arkansas Safari and Gun Range. Promo code James
And gun
Hartley,
range, yeah.
all caps.
Wait, is he joking, or did it really have a gun range too? No, okay.
Well, it might. I don't know. It's Northwest
Yeah.
Arkansas. It would stand to reason,
Well, yeah. So that also does make me think. So there is one thing that goes on in Texas that I'm definitely not a fan of by any means, and that's the trophy hunting.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, there's a couple of them that you can hunt red kangaroo males.
Really?
Yeah, and that's just not cool. Yeah.
That doesn't seem. So that's look. I'm a hunter. I'm not a trophy hunter. I'm a meat hunter. But
It's hopping, man.
well, and the people that go to like Africa and like shoot a zebra, I'm like, why do you want to shoot a zebra? It's like a horse.
Yeah.
Like who cares?
Yeah.
I don't understand hunting for a sport.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you
But
know,
it's not
I'm not
even
against
really a
hunting.
sport.
But no, it's
You're
not.
using a
They would
rifle.
think it is, but it's
you
not.
know, like I could almost understand if you're like, hey, here's this archaic bow and arrow, that like thousands of years ago people use. That's a sport. Go to the African outback with that.
Mhm.
We'll see how you do. But with a long range rifle, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kinda,
Yeah, and they're usually, especially, it's they're not like trapped, but they've got a lot of land, but
Yeah.
they can't get out. It's
Right.
not like they can just,
Well, a lot of people push them too. They'll have like African, herders push them. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah, it's not cool.
nah.
It is not cool. So, yeah, I get, when you see these
Tilted
pictures
pool
on
table.
It's a tilted pool table. That's right.
it's a what?
Tilted pool table.
Oh, I've never heard that phrase, but I just got the picture in my head. I got it
Yeah.
now.
You're gonna get it.
You're gonna
Yeah.
get it. It's gonna go in.
It's
Yeah.
gonna go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So anyway, to lighten it up, we ate Triscuit crackers.
Yes.
I ate a lot.
Well, now you weren't
I ate a
supposed
lot.
to eat the
I ate
Triscuits.
most
Those
of-
are not for you. But it happens
Yeah,
all
so the
time.
Wallabies get Triscuit crackers and like veggie snacks.
She hands you Triscuits. You're like, oh, thanks.
No,
Thanks. You have any cheese, some wine, maybe, perhaps?
Me and Garrett ate them all. I'm
They were
just
like, hey, where's the Triscuits? And you got like
No,
crumbs in your
mine.
beard. She's like,
Which ones eat what? Because you gave us a couple different things.
Well, you did have a bag of mushrooms, and those are for the swamp wallabies. Don't you just come here and drink some.
I also like those too.
That's what we ate before we went in.
Yeah, that's why he was eating all the Triscuits.
Psychedelic.
I
Kangaroo.
really want to go to this place now.
This
Will
episode.
you give me a promo code that I can present?
This episode's called Psychedelic Kangaroo Show.
There you go. There aren't really kangaroos there. You just think that there are.
It's just posters.
Yeah.
It's like her kids just like running around the backyard with kangaroo masks on.
Mom's got another showing.
Yeah.
Go get the Roo costume.
Weirdo
right.
dudes from Austin.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
On
funny.
a pogo stick, right?
Yeah. Now, do you think we'll have to box? You know?
No.
yeah, put them up.
We do get that question a lot, you
I
know,
bet.
and so I have to try and squash that as quickly as I can.
What question in specific? Can we box them?
Do they box?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Do they
Can you
box?
make
Can
'em
we
box?
box them? Can you make them box? You know.
Why do people want to fight the kangaroos so
I-
bad?
Oh, but that's all. I mean, that's
Cartoons.
Well, cartoons, yeah, but that's what I call it. Good TV in quotes
Right.
because it's what people want to see. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you see. And so people expect that that's what they're gonna see, and that's not the case. And you see a lot of kangaroo images with boxing gloves on them,
Right, yeah.
and they did used to. You'll see old footage or old photos where they actually put boxing gloves on
Like dog fights or
kangaroos,
something,
and that was like carnival-y type of or circusy entertainment.
I will say, though, have you ever gone down the rabbit hole on YouTube of, like, animal fights?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's pretty impressive, really.
Well, I
You
mean,
know?
they do. They
Yeah.
in a way, yes, they are. Like we do some classes where the question or the title is do kangaroos really kickbox? Because yeah, I mean it does essentially it does look like what they're doing, and it is pretty serious. And we explain the anatomy and that dynamics between how all of that works, so that when you do see that footage again, you're kind of looking at it from a different set of
More
eyes.
scientific
Yeah,
set of
and you
eyes,
understand, why they're doing what, and you'll also notice that, oh yeah, they really do just kind of stand on that tail there. They don't need, they only need the last few inches to be, put that weight on it to stand
Wow.
on it. So, so you learn a lot. It still is fun, you don't feel like you're in school, but you walk out of there and you know a lot about kangaroos and wallabies once you leave.
Yeah. Maybe we should add a segment to the show. We should both go back there. You've already been. I'll go back, learn some, and then we'll just do like kangaroo trivia every few weeks on this.
I just lined some up on
Did you?
the Googles that we're going to go over
See,
here at the
We've
end.
been
There you
doing
go.
this too long.
Instead of
together.
questions,
go.
we're going to do random, some of which you've covered already.
Yeah.
But I think we'll introduce some
Well,
interesting.
we're going to do
That'd be good.
questions too. Questions is good.
Sure.
We're gonna do 5 questions. Anyway,
Let's get to your nonprofit affiliation or whatever your
The mouthful of words.
your goodwill.
Yeah. So, well, to start with, I mean, a lot of people ask us, why do you do what it is that you do?
Yep.
And so, although it is, obviously entertaining in some, form, obviously, that's not the rationale behind it. It really is geared towards conservation. Because, most people can't afford, whether it's financially or time-wise, it's a long trip to go to Australia, So we really do feel like we're, bringing Australia to people. And not only that, they're actually right there with them. I mean, you're literally they're right there in your arms.
and
so
hands on is what it is, and you guys are hands off. It's pretty much kids. We had a 2-year-old maybe. 3-year-old, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what he was. Just running around, touching, petting, and you're there to say, not that hard, or don't hit, or pet here or pet there. But that's like the environment you're experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, you really, and to backtrack a little, but to adjust what you just said, the kids now, I mean, they're you can't even say they're learning from books anymore. It's from a computer screen.
Yeah.
They're not even reading books, and you're not going to fall in love with animals. You're not going to have the same, reaction. And so I think it's really, really important, especially for young people, because truly you're not going to care about something, I think, unless you're able to see it live. And interacting with it live is even more, convincing to care about the animal. Computer screen is nothing. You don't get a feel for it. And I've had kids that like they come in, especially like young teenagers, they do not want to be there. They're with their family or whatever, and they're all, and they're on their phones, and and by the middle of it, they're interacting, and their parents are kind of looking at me like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, see, yeah, they really they get it, because it is not what they're expecting, and it's different. So I kind of went off track there. I don't even remember what your question was, but
Well-
it made me, when you said that, it made me, with the children, like,
Nonprofit
they're-
and
the
conservation
nonprofit.
stuff.
yeah.
I want to get my 9 and 11-year-old over there. I think they're
Oh.
prime for it. Like my 9-year-old wanted to come today, but he had piano, and I was like, not today, buddy. And I kind of wish I'd have brought him because he'd have been like just babysitting that thing.
Yeah,
like,
he'd be
he loves
sitting in the
animals.
corner holding it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
When we were out there, you mentioned camps and
Yeah, we do.
bus-
We do camps. We have camps obviously for normal camp age people. We also have the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. They can come out and they can camp out. So they have time that they're spending with the animals, and then they camp out. They're not camping out with the animals. We get that question a lot.
Yeah.
But then they come back in the morning, and it also gives them a window into what it's like to take care of animals. But we also have adult camps, which
know.
is, again, we have only, so bad. They are not
Edit
sleepover
this part.
camps either. But
And that's not with the kangaroos or wallabies
No,
either. Just
no.
to put that out
Yeah.
there.
It's just
No,
for
it's
our
not.
Northeast Texas
It's not.
listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's really cool.
It's the Bible Belt, ma'am.
We I'm sorry. They adults don't get to do fun stuff. They
sure.
don't. We get to a certain it's like you don't do fun stuff. So it's pretty cool. People really enjoy doing it. They don't realize it. I always say, preface, even if it's camp, it's hard work.
No, sure.
It is. It is hard work, but boy, it's really it pays off. It's worth it. So, and it's definitely different. You're up to trouble over there, I can tell.
Cassidy is still holding a bag with a
Joey.
wallaby in it, by the way.
I texted the 2 pictures we took to my 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And he wrote back in all caps, "Steal it now."
Good luck. Yeah. No. But we also have like volunteer programs though. I mean, they don't have to do a camp,
Sure.
And I thought, but maybe you guys don't. I mean, you would know. Do you guys in Texas have like what's it called? The SSI hours? We have them on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
I think so.
Yeah, you do
volunteer community
yeah.
service
You
stuff.
have to do a certain amount of
I
hours.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did a lot of that in the East Coast. So I talked to somebody about it, and they're like, "No, they didn't know what I was talking about."
SSI?
I don't think
It's-
I don't
on the
think
East
it's like a
Coast, it's called
mandatory
SSI.
thing.
Yeah.
But you can get some like credits for schoolwork and stuff if you do.
Yeah, see, in
Ah,
Maryland
gotcha.
it is. It is.
Gotcha.
It's required. You have to put in like 150 hours
Oh, wow.
over like all of high school or
Sure.
that type of thing. And so and then you
I
can do it at
put
different
that
places.
all in extracurricularly.
It was mandatory for him though.
The state was like, "Sir, you're going to have to do a lot of hours of community service."
If only I
"Alright."
could have known, I could have been playing with wallabies.
Okay.
yeah,
yeah.
really, right?
Yeah, I just picked up trash on the
And
side of the road like
mowed
a,
things. Like a felon.
yeah, like a felon. Where were we on that?
We were. I don't know. We jumped
camps
from like camps and
and
conservation
volunteer
Yeah,
and
volunteerism. That's what I wanted. What can you expect to do, and what's the
Yeah,
experience as a
so
volunteer? Because that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. But again, it is hard work, and this is Texas.
Yeah.
So
Mucking.
people got to realize it. It doesn't matter. It could be 115 out. You still have to do the exact same stuff. You still have to take care of those animals. You're responsible for them, and they're depending on you. So, yeah, you're mucking, and when it's really, really hot. Doesn't matter if there's sleet out there. You've got to make sure that they've got fresh water, access to fresh water, that their food is there, and that the heat's working and all that jazz. So they kind of really, the volunteers. It depends on when they're there, But again, it's going to be learning how to take care of them. So ones that, if you come to camp and everything, you even learn about how we have, a Generac, you have a generator system because, I can put on, parkas and everything else, but they can't, so we make sure that actually they have pretty much better digs and everything than we do. And there's a lot of things that, that you learn that you were like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to do this. And it's not just animal lovers either,
Sure.
I mean, well, they better love animals. Yeah, that's true. But
Hope it's not animal haters.
no, yeah, that would. Well, we'll turn them around though, right? You cannot
can't-
look at their face and hate that.
No,
let me
you
tell
can't
ya.
hold that thing like I just
No,
did. Like
you can't. You
you know.
cannot. And so, a lot of people also, they're like, oh, we didn't. Well, I thought we were going to get to hold of Joey, and I'm like, got to read that carefully. It's when they're available, and it's also up to them too.
Sure, yeah.
It's just like a baby. If a baby's being cranky and they're not, then it's all about them, and they've got to be, comfortable with it. So
consent is key.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Go back to adult camp,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
My little Joey's getting caught up in cords. I hope I don't pull something.
Do you guys have any plans for expansion or adding different animals? Or I'm sure you got your hands full.
Always
but
dreaming, I'm sure, right?
Well,
you got
it's
plans of some sort.
somebody who's really big, and his name is Jimmy. He owns Austin, Savannah. Just an amazing place. If you're ever out there, you should definitely go see that. And he said to me, he said, you should always be under construction. And when you think about it, it's true. I mean, even like with your home, over the years or whatever, you're always updating something, or you're doing this or that. And then
Look at I-75.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. So let's keep that I-75 like where it is. I'm very nervous.
Oh, yeah. I guess you are kind of in the...
Yeah, it's like if you keep it where it is, that's fine. But we are surrounded by families that have been there for a long time.
Sure,
so
yeah.
I've kind of talked to them about, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Well, that's an interesting aside for a second. So you're surrounded by like, traditional ranchers and farmers and stuff.
Yeah.
Have they all came up and been like, can I take a peek at what you got going here? Or
Oh, yeah. It did. And so the people actually
Massive herd of cows right next to you.
Yeah, on both sides. And so on one side, though, I mean, he's got everything. He's got sheep, and he has cattle, he has goats. I mean, so like livestock is new for me.
Yeah, sure.
And we got livestock because you also want young kids to see animals that they are familiar with, and it just kind of makes them more comfortable.
Sure.
Because they've seen TV and stupid cartoons that make kangaroos out to be, I've had some kids that are like, I'm going to get kicked. I'm going to.
Oh, wow.
It's like, no, I'm like, are you watching Wild Kratts on TV? That's where you're getting that from. So we are surrounded by it, and they were kind of like, what's the deal? But the people who owned our property were part of that family.
Really?
Yeah. So they knew before we even signed on the dotted line what was coming. So they weren't surprised, but there was a lot of like going by our fence and kind of like,
Has it been a largely a warm reception? Or?
Oh yeah, that's
Cool.
absolutely. And our neighbors have been awesome. Like for instance, like I said, livestock is new to me, and we had one of our fainting goats, who's again named after Adam's family. So this is Grandmama. She's only 3. She's not old. But she had a
spell.
She had a spell. Yeah. So for a long time she was in labor, and so I was worried about that. And then the vet gave her shots, and then she, one of them wasn't alive, and then the other one was breached.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I'm not quite sure what to do here, and it's hard to get vets out now.
Oh yeah.
Livestock vets are few and far between, believe it or not, and they're really, really busy. So it's not like it used to be where you could have emergency calls and they would come out. So
you YouTubed it, didn't you?
No,
Oh.
I hightailed it over to my neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. I called him, and then his other family members on the other side of us. So she came over, he came over, and I learned how to,
pull a goat.
Yep, learned how to pull a goat and what was all involved. Now, I will say he did end the conversation with, I wouldn't breed her again. And I said, that's fine. We don't need to breed her. That's not what we're doing. And he said, yeah, if it was mine, I'd just send her down the road. Took me a little bit to
that euphemism.
Yeah, I was like, send her where? What?
Yeah, what's down the road?
Yeah, so I was like, no.
Yeah, cabrito is what he meant.
Exactly. Yeah, I've looked in her eyes too much. That's not going to happen.
I got
so,
it.
but that was interesting. But it is very different. What we do is very different. So I think he was like, oh, yeah, this is more of like a petting thing, right? Yeah, that's right. I can understand why you're not going to.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. Have they pet the baby wallabies or?
Yeah, I mean, they have seen them.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing over there as is with us. We are always working.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I truly, when we first moved, I thought, oh, this will be cool. I mean, we'll have a fire pit. Have the neighbors over, have a beer, no. Yeah. Everybody's exhausted at the end of the day, and.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like to pet that wallaby, but I need a beer
but I
and a
can't
steak.
move right now. Yeah, so exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think we're wrapping it up. Matthew, do you have a?
I've got 5 custom questions.
Okay, so let me pause here. Is there anything you haven't touched on that you want to touch on? Whether the conservation, the educational outreach.
No, I mean, no, not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
I think people have kind of got an idea.
When
what
we put the
do.
links up,
Tell us how to get a hold of you. Pay for a tour, different kind of tours, things you offer for something like what we did.
Yeah. So
'Cause I didn't go through the process, so I wanted to know how that is.
So those would be on the Roos2U webpage, which is it's Roos2U. It's easy to remember, but it is ROOS, the number 2, the letter U, at Roos2U.com is the email, but Roos2U.com is the website. And it has all of the information on there, the different packages and stuff. But again, I really do suggest that people start with Meet the Mob because you meet all of the animals. And the other ones, like there's, Coffee with a Kangaroo and
that sounds
it's
awesome.
Coffee with there's coffee with everything these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so well, we've been doing that a long time.
So,
what's
okay.
nice about it,
Kahlua.
Kahlua, yeah. Well, so things are different in Texas.
Kahlua and
so
coffee with kangaroos.
we're going to be able to do
That might
stuff
be-
that we could not
So
do in
that's
Maryland.
that's probably not good.
Stay
Never mind.
away from that.
Never mind.
Oh Lord.
All right, we will edit that part out.
Coffee with a C.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually,
yeah, of course.
it's Coffee with a K for us. It's
Oh.
Coffee with
no.
a Kangaroo.
that's not
See,
good.
well, you only can have
Yeah.
2 then. You can't have the Kahlua.
Yeah.
So explain Coffee with the Kangaroo.
Well, so it essentially what it is, you can only have 6 people, and
Okay.
it's only adults. It's got to
Okay.
be 18 or over.
Yeah,
And
25
it's
nowadays.
Really, yeah, right. It's geared towards people who've already been there. They've met all the animals,
Okay.
and now they want to come with their friends and be in like one of the habitats. And we have a table and everything, and you just kick back and you enjoy being with your friends, but you're also surrounded by animals that come
That
up,
sounds
and so it's
awesome.
more laid back. You don't have a docent.
Yeah.
There is a staff member that's around to make sure
yeah.
you have treats, make sure everything's safe, everything's fine, all that jazz. But it's pretty cool. But I have people who want to book that. I'm like, no, don't start there.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna want to be like, well, who's that? And what's that over there?
Yeah.
And, so you want to meet everybody first. And what is cool is the laws are different. Than I didn't know this until we got here. Is that we could do a BYOB type thing. So it's not just Coffee with a Kangaroo. It would be still limited because
Sure.
we don't want
What do
people
they
getting
like to drink?
schnockered. Well, it depends.
Yeah. Scotch.
What they're having.
Scotch, yeah.
Yeah.
With a lot of peat.
Something
Yeah.
peaty.
Yeah.
Too peaty.
What do they drink in Australia?
There's probably a good joke
Foster's.
A lot of beer.
there. Foster's, yeah.
Lots of beer. Beer's a big thing there.
Beer.
Yeah, I can't
Beer.
think of like an Australian whiskey.
That's a good point.
I
I
don't-
can't either.
Yeah.
I'm pretty into whiskey, and I know my whiskeys.
Yeah.
The wine's really good.
Oh, I guess so.
Wines,
Like
yeah.
Wine's
Shiraz
really good,
or Syrahs and Petite Syrahs down there. Yeah.
There's all kinds of wine. Wine's
They even have one called Yellowtail.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah,
I'm
that
just
is
kidding.
true.
I'm kidding.
Actually, Yellowtail's not bad. It
it's
really
just
isn't.
$4 a bottle or whatever.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's not bad wine. It's pretty good. So I would start with Meet the Mob, and then there's the other ones that you can go to. There are things you can add on, but they're not guaranteed. So you
Yeah.
can always add on additional time if you want to. But it depends on how the animals are. Like we
Attitudes.
have sugar gliders. And so. But they're nocturnal, you know what I mean? So you're not
Yeah.
going to be coming at 11 o'clock and do, the sugar gliders.
Yeah.
And they have to be up for it too, And
Right.
so people just don't want you to be disappointed if you come and you think you're going to do it. So don't promise your kids that they're going to see the sugar gliders and
Right.
stuff because it just depends on the animals.
It's a might be, could be kind of thing.
Did we? You know what? Our tortoises weren't
see?
out when you were there.
No.
So yeah, so we have we do rescue and we
Mm-hmm.
do native wildlife as well. So we have 2 tortoises that one's name is Terrence, the other is Cheryl. Terrence and Cheryl.
I think those are good
Yeah.
names for tortoises.
A big one and a little one. But they're pretty cool. So I was kind of surprised again. I didn't think I was going to be that excited by the tortoises.
They're long lived, aren't they?
They are long lived,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got to put those in the will,
Yeah.
But the emus live a long time.
Really?
They've got to go in the will. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long do emus
Yeah,
live?
they like over 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah. So,
Tortoises live long though, right?
Yeah, they do. They live
80
a
to
really long time.
120.
So they're a new thing for me as well too, which is exciting, because you're always surprised by something, or you think they do this or they do that, and it's like, yeah, no, that's a myth. That's not true. Like, everybody thinks that porcupines shoot their quills. They don't.
No, they
There's
don't,
no
yeah.
species of porcupines that can shoot their quills.
I follow a page on TikTok.
Mhm.
It's a tortoise. He's like 20 years old already, and she was talking about that. He's in the will be left to her daughter. But he's kind of like a dog. Like he kind of acts like he's real into his owner,
Yeah.
and like she pets him and feeds him stuff.
Yeah,
and
they're smart. It's all
yeah.
about, how much, interaction and what you can,
yeah, really cool. Animals are cool, man. They really are. Any bucket list items for you, or animals that you'd like to see or have an interaction with? Or
Good question.
I've done a lot of animals. I don't know.
outside of what you
have,
have,
yeah.
any favorites outside of what you have and what you
Oh, well,
constantly deal with?
Good Lord. I tell you, there's some animals in Australia I'd give my left arm for.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh, a quokka.
A what?
A quokka.
I don't even know what
Oh
that is.
yeah, we love quokkas.
Oh,
Are you being
No.
sarcastic?
Yeah, I am.
it starts
I'm
with
sorry.
Q.
I'm
Starts
sorry.
with a Q, right?
Starts with a
Yeah.
Quokka.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
the little
are-
rodent
Gotta
type.
Google that.
Well, no, they're marsupials. They're
QU,
not
sorry.
rodents, but they have a forever smile on their face.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
QUOKKA.
There's something similar in Japan too, right? Or maybe they
I
are
don't
in
know.
Japan.
Is there? No. They're
Oh,
not in Japan.
man.
They're Australian.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a smile. I mean, just
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a on
Guinea piggish
Facebook.
with a
There's
definite
Steve
smile.
the quokka. So everybody needs to follow Steve the quokka. I mean, you have a bad day and you look at a
Oh, wow.
quokka and it's,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, look at that,
Yeah.
huh? Don't you just want to
Look up
have
um,
those running around you?
QUOKKA.
Look up the Japanese smiling animal or whatever.
Good Lord, who knows
Yeah,
what
who
to come
knows?
back with
Yeah,
that?
yeah, or easy with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
use her phone.
That would be, no.
3 or 4 quokkas recently acquired in a zoo in Tokyo.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they've had some released, but there's a big thing, and because they run wild now in Tokyo, and they say don't touch them, but you can take pictures with them, and people are always like taking selfies with them because
Yeah.
they're smiling. Yeah, that's cool.
And
That'd be cool.
wombats, so
Yeah.
we've done a lot of work with wombats, and I found
That's a weird one.
love. Oh, they're
What about
awesome.
a platypus?
So platypuses,
They're
yeah,
venomous, right?
yeah, they are. Yeah, surprisingly so, right? That you would
Yeah.
you're like, this thing looks like a strange.
It definitely
duck
looks like
thing,
an Australian animal.
Yeah,
Like-
well, they're all kind of put together, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have a Tasmanian devil too.
I've
yeah.
never even seen one. I don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
We've thought about getting dingoes.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a possibility.
It's like the wild feral dogs or whatever.
Well, yeah, they're the wild dogs. They're like they're coyotes, but
Dingo.
they're small.
Dingo ate my baby or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but they're small. They're not as big as you think.
Yeah, like the what is it in Africa? The
Hyena.
hyena, right?
Yeah.
Those are big.
Oh, hyenas are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
They're very
They're
awesome.
I saw
like
one of those at the
massive jaws.
Salinas or Monterey Zoo in
Mhm.
California.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
We stayed out there with my mother-in-law. Booked it.
see a trend
in,
here.
in one of their little cabanas, like
Mhm.
elephants at the. That place was amazing.
Yeah, it is.
By the way.
Yeah, Charles has
You-
got
you
an
know
awesome
the guy?
place. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, he's got an
Yeah,
incredible,
Charlie Summit. He's awesome. He's
incredible
really good.
place. We stayed 3 days there.
Yeah, he has a big background in Hollywood and in the films
Right.
having the
He,
animals.
he
that
gets
he
a
would
lot of the
provide.
retired.
Yeah. You know the
star-
Cadbury bunny
Yeah.
Yeah.
commercial that you're playing all the time now? The
Yeah.
line that's a
It's the longest running commercial too.
Yeah,
love it.
right?
It's
Yeah.
been on for
I don't even
30
know if
years
that
at
line is
least.
still alive. It's that old, but that's one of his animals. But yeah,
Wow.
but anyway, that's a great
His place is just lined with photos of stars and sets
Yeah.
and movies.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Impressive spot.
He's a good guy. But bucket list that would be they're probably almost all Australian animals. So,
Sure. Yeah. Australia's an interesting place. I've never been, but I'd like to
Yeah.
go.
That is.
You won't
Speaking of
wanna
which,
come back.
I've got 5 custom questions for you.
Get for
Uh-oh.
them. Then we got 5 sort of normal questions for you.
All right, I need you to name off 3 other marsupials.
Oh, okay. Well,
Other
kinda
than
we-
like
kinda what we
wallaby or
just said,
kangaroo,
yeah.
yeah, or a
Yeah.
or possum.
Well, your wombat,
Yep.
the
Okay.
ones we
Yep.
just talked about, the
Yep.
quokkas, Tasmanian devils.
Oh,
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
that's one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a wombat, their pouch goes the opposite way, so the Joey's looking out the back way
interesting.
because they dig holes, and if they're digging, they would be just
Getting
kicking
dirt.
dirt right
Yeah.
into the pouch. So
Okay.
they're facing the other way,
Interesting.
and their poop is square.
Whoa.
We like poop information on this
There you go.
podcast.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
You can't just
It's
leave
true.
with
It
that.
Bringing the heat at an hour and 9
It's-
minutes?
Yeah.
Square.
Jeez.
Yeah,
There you go.
interesting.
Square. How's
Square.
that work?
Yeah, it's
They have
just, it's
weird
what-
plumbing.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
Blew my mind. Okay. All right. You said wombat, Tasmanian devil. One more.
Yep.
One more.
well, the batongs.
Okay. Not on my list, but
Not on your list.
I'm going
I'm
to take
gonna
your word
They
for it.
should be because we talked about them because we did.
I've also got bandicoot and koala.
Bandicoot.
Wait,
koalas.
bandicoot's a real thing?
Yeah,
Yep.
bandicoots are a real thing.
Yeah.
I just remember
Yeah.
it from the Sony game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
They've
just
got
a
really
not
cool
just a video
markings.
game from the midnight or
Really cool
Whatever,
markings.
Next thing you're going to tell me is hedgehogs are real. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
they are.
kidding.
We've
kidding.
owned one.
I know. I'm kidding. Everybody.
Question number 2: Who is your favorite captain?
Kangaroo or
That's-
Morgan.
That's correct.
Hey, either answer is acceptable.
Kangaroo is the answer.
Yeah.
I went the wrong way there. I went the wrong way.
She's like, what
Um,
did I show up to?
Name a brand of cabbie hat. Name a
Oh.
brand
Oh,
of cabbie
Kangoo?
hat. What's that?
Kangaroo?
Yes, you're correct. You said it wrong, but you're correct.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Kangol.
Kangol?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
there's an L on it.
You're
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 4. Is that 4?
Didn't you say
yeah.
there were 3?
There's 5.
I
Five.
lied. Okay. All right.
What is your favorite airline? Favorite
Qantas?
airline.
Probably
yes,
starts with
ding,
a
Q,
ding,
too.
ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
Yeah.
Qantas, the famous kangaroo logo. And if you had to pick one Australian-based trilogy from the late 80s or early 90s, which would it be?
Man from Snowy River. Oh.
Trilogy.
There you go.
I reached
right,
back for
right?
that, didn't I?
No, that's a good one though.
Trilogy.
No, I agree.
I think it's a trilogy
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna have to be the very first one because the other two are really bad. The Kangaroo Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
That's
love
what I was
that.
going for.
That's not a
No,
knife.
you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I
yeah.
just want some sort of Australian influence there. All right, that was it. This is the not serious part of the show.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now these are the traditional questions.
Yeah.
coming
These are
up?
just the random questions in the bucket.
Uh-oh.
Okay, like besides, family, children, marriage, those
Right.
type of things, what is your proudest moment?
Oh Lord, that's a tough one.
Yeah, we bring the heat. at the
Yeah, I'm
end.
telling you. Good Lord, there has to
Well,
be just
I
like
don't
your
know.
proudest moment.
That's starting pretty high. The next one's going to be a pretty low
Oh
question.
no.
Go for
Okay,
it.
good, because
Yeah.
that's a tough one. My proudest moment. Oh.
What's one that sticks out? We'll put it that way. Getting your
Gosh.
first kangaroo.
Well, I don't know if that's a proud. That's what you're throwing me with is the proudest. I mean, is that getting your first kangaroo is like not necessarily a proud moment, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, your most exciting.
Mine was I ran into a burning building and saved a child. That was my
Yeah.
proudest moment.
Well, but if you're going to go on those lines, I mean, definitely, when working the bushfires in Australia,
Absolutely.
it's definitely way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Did you see any of those like National Geographic moments of like firefighters feeding like koalas water and
Oh,
stuff?
but we're doing the black walks. I
Really?
mean, we're there with the where the black widows are, which is where you have trees that you can't tell they're still burning. The embers are burning inside. No, this is serious.
Oh.
We're not there just
Yeah, just goofing
yeah,
off.
Yeah, no, and we're setting up food stations for the animals and taking them in for triage and everything.
I'll accept that.
that work?
That flies.
That's a pretty proud
Yeah.
moment, right?
Okay, so we're gonna bring it way down here.
Oh no.
Your worst public restroom experience.
Oh, good Lord. Well, let's put
I'm
it
talking
this
to
way.
a livestock owner, so it might not have to do with her, but probably an animal.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be you.
Okay, so let's put it this way. I mean, I haven't actually done this, but I was very worried that I was going to have to because my husband's from Portugal, and so I hear a lot of the places you're going to have they are
The hole in the
literally
ground.
a hole like in the ground, and I was really nervous that I was going to be in a public arena that
Yeah.
you had to do that in, and so I was very grateful that it wasn't.
All right, well, so we'll just go with like I don't know, like an Allsup's in West Texas or something.
Yeah, no, I don't. We're not going to go there.
Yeah, all right. I don't know. This is
Well, if you're worried, then I'm really worried.
no. This is I like where it's going. We might have to refine this one. What sport would be funniest to add a what is this?
little bit of alcohol
Oh
too.
yeah, like a momentous amount of alcohol too. Is I believe what you said.
Momentous amount of alcohol too. What's
A
sport?
mandatory
a
amount.
gotcha.
mandatory.
Yeah.
Just like random drinking or like part of the scoring system.
No, like you
Just
just have to do it drunk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be a little buzzed.
Yeah.
Um.
Like definitely not kangaroo
How
boxing.
about curling?
Yeah. Well, I think they all do that drunk, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They got pretty good balance, so I don't know. I
That's
think it
true.
might be kind of comical to see like a lot of them ending up like.
Well, I've seen the meme because it's all like Canadians, you know,
Mhm.
mostly, and there's the dude from Canada in the Korean Olympics, and it was like, hey, cheers to this guy who's supporting his wife who is on the curling team, and he's double fisting beers at 8 a.m. You know, I was like,
Sounds
okay.
like an Aussie.
Yeah, sounds good. Best and worst job you've ever had?
Oh God. Oh, that's pretty damn easy.
Well, best job probably right now, right?
Well,
or,
yeah,
or
but my
something
best,
similar.
But my best and worst is probably the same thing. You know.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. I mean, it can be pretty disgusting.
Yeah,
sometimes
sure.
What you,
Yeah.
what you do.
You're pulling
so.
that goat. You're like, you know.
Yeah, that was not a great time. But I'll tell you that. So you guys didn't see any mercyism, which is what looks like when looks like a kangaroo is like throwing up, and it's really like their whole body
Oh,
gyrates,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's actually it's like a cow cut almost. It's
Yeah.
for digestive, but that stuff is the most rancid, acidic, disgusting thing I've ever smelled in my life.
Now I
It's
kind of
really
want to
bad.
experience that a little
It's
bit.
really
You know.
bad.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
we have a video of one of my wallabies, and it was just a silhouette in the house, and it just looks like Godzilla, like going back. Yeah, so you don't want that stuff to land on you. We actually are like, we'll have bets as it's happening. Like, you know, it could
Who's
be a
gonna get
drinking
it?
game, is whether or not they're going to swallow it or it's going to go all over the place or it's going to get on you. It could be a good drinking game, you know.
Oh no.
You should add that package to your
Sounds
menu
like
there.
tequila is a drinking
go.
game to me.
Yeah.
All right, last one. This is easy.
All
It's a
right.
yes or no. Have you ever climbed a water tower?
No.
Okay, solid move.
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
Yeah,
Drunk or sober, right?
I'm
probably halfway there.
something. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Something. I'm sure.
Cassidy, that was awesome.
Hey, we got a wallaby to name.
We do.
Yeah, you do.
There's been a couple of good ones. Did you
I've got 'em-
notice?
I've
There
got
was
'em written down here.
one I liked
Yeah. I
by
bet,
Miss Van Schoik. She,
yeah. Well, I think there might have been 2 votes for that, but one may have auto-corrected.
Okay.
All right. So number 1, we got Tejas.
That's a good one. That's good.
Does it have a meaning?
It's friendly or ally.
That's what
Oh,
Texas.
Texas.
Oh,
Texas
that's
is
right,
called
Tejas.
Tejas,
Yep.
Tejas, the
Mhm.
Mexican Spanish
yeah.
version.
Actually, that was the Caddo Indian word for
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Bad Texan.
Now I'm educating people.
Bad
and I don't
Texan.
even know if that's true.
We've
Yeah.
got
If
one
it
from
wasn't.
one for Jameson.
I like that one.
Jameson, yeah, I
Personally,
like that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
We've got one for Leonard.
Yeah. Okay.
Leonard.
Yeah.
You got Terrence and Cheryl, so Leonard's not too far off. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wallaby Joseph.
Wallaby Joseph.
There you go.
Wally.
Of course.
Siren.
Like that one.
Like the like a
Like
siren.
the siren that you're on right now.
The
yeah.
12
The
o'clock
12 o'clock
Oh,
siren.
like the.
siren.
Okay.
Or a
Yeah,
beautiful
no.
woman who lures you
Or-
to your death
yeah.
in the
Well,
rocks.
that's where I went with it, and then I
Which
realized, yeah, sorry.
coincidentally is what we call ourselves.
Yeah. We might should have thought that one through.
I know. I didn't put
Yeah.
those together when anyway, Waylon.
Yeah.
Wayland, that's not bad.
That's a good one.
This one I think may have been auto-corrected Siri. Siri.
Oh, that's
I think
not
she
good.
may have been going for sirens. That
Yeah?
could be 2 votes
Yeah?
for siren.
Okay.
Something to
can-
think about
That's
for
just
you.
something to. I'm not biased. or
I don't
anything.
mind siren.
I've got Bob Dylan,
Oh,
Which
just
go-
not
which-
Dylan or
which-
Bob, but Bob Dylan.
which kind of goes with your
James Dean?
with your James Dean
That's
and
true.
your
Well,
celebrity.
but a lot of times
names
James Dean, you
or
know,
characters.
it's called JD,
Yeah,
but Bob Dylan BD.
BD.
I don't know. Sounds a lot like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
S.
But
and then
Dylan's not bad, or you
Yeah.
know,
last one is Walter.
Walter.
It's
Walter.
very distinguished.
So I mean, some decent names on
Walter,
there.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good suggestions.
Yeah.
That's just an hour.
Oh, Walter makes me think of a grumpy old man. though,
yeah, it
you
kind of
know?
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's even one of those comics.
Is there
that
anything
do
that struck you that you want to go with?
I
or you
like the
wanna- or
siren.
You can say, you know what, you guys can't name this.
Yeah,
wallaby.
yeah, it's totally
If you
your
want to,
wallaby.
it's okay.
Like, you know,
I don't know. I think Siren and Waylon are probably tied in there.
go home and flip a coin.
Siren and
Happen.
Waylon.
I think, yeah, we could flip a coin now.
You want to go
You
for
got
it?
a coin?
Uh,
right.
I do somewhere around here. It's
Stella's
a
like,
fresh
"What you got?"
quarter.
It is, man. What is that? 2028. That's weird.
What?
I just had like a weird
just,
moment.
just wiped your
I
hard
just had a
drive,
weird
man.
moment there.
Like,
Huh?
it fried
Where have
your
the last 5
motherboard,
years
dude.
gone?
Yeah. All right.
Heads,
Cassidy?
Alright.
heads is Cassidy.
Waylon.
Heads is Waylon.
Heads is Waylon.
Yep.
H is W.
Yep.
And tails is Siren.
Yep.
All right.
What is it?
Heads. It's Waylon.
Waylon.
Waylon it is.
Waylon's the name.
Waylon the Wallaby.
Waylon the
That
Wallaby.
works, right?
That works.
We'll
Who
get
was
the
that?
next one.
Who was it? Yeah. That was
That's
fun.
good. That was fun. That was
Yeah.
really
Waylon the
educational, too.
Wallaby.
Charm Cameron got that. That was
Charm
her
Cameron.
suggestion.
Shout out to Charm.
Yep.
Good one.
Thank you, Charm.
See,
You
I
named-
didn't-
you
didn't
just
say
named a
Cameron.
wallaby.
Cameron would have been a good one.
Yeah. Jameson's good.
Yeah.
Jameson's good.
Jameson's good for anything, like a cab driver, limo driver, or a wallaby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a bottle of whiskey.
Or a bottle of whiskey. Well, thank you very much. I know that I'm going to get my kids out there in the next couple of months and see what's up. I
Yeah.
think they would love it.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, we're there year round, you know,
Sure.
24/7. But the nice thing about Texas is different than Maryland. Is you have some gorgeous days during
Yeah.
the winter as well too. But for the most part, you know, when the weather is
Yeah, we pretty much have summer and summer light
yeah,
in Texas,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, pretty much.
Summer and diet summer.
Anything else you want to promote or plug? Give us a phone number. Give us an email. Give
Yeah,
us a website.
You've got so the easiest one now would be the Roos2U. That's both the email and the website, Roos2U at roos2u.com or Roos2U for the website. And yeah, no, that's pretty much
Cool.
about it. Definitely Facebook. So Facebook is fun to follow because you know the website is more informational. There's lots of pictures there, but
Sure.
you know it's not something. Whereas Facebook, you're
Updated
you know
and stuff.
keeping it updated more.
Right.
And especially once you've been there, as I said to you guys, that once you know who everybody is, it's cool. Like you see Waylon, you know, you see
Yeah.
Waylon grow up. You see Waylon's, you know, first harem and Joey.
I remember when he was named on the siren.
That's right.
You know?
There you go. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, the Facebook. That one's definitely check out the Facebook, and that will tell you, shows you all about what we do. And there's also good stuff on there. There's even videos of like Joey's when they're first born, and you see all of that. And it's educational as well
Cool.
as entertaining.
Right in your own backyard.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
Not too far
Yeah.
from us on the other
Yeah,
side
so
of 75.
we have
I was there
we have
today.
a what's it called, a logo, not a logo, a saying, a slogan or whatever, you know. And one of our visitors is one who came up with it, and that's, you know, Australia. It's only an hour away from Dallas,
like it.
Uh-huh.
so it's true, right?
Dallas's new suburb.
You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah,
Australia now in Grayson County.
that's right.
Australia up and over.
That-
Down
that-
and under.
yeah.
Up and
Yeah.
Ah.
I saw where you were
That,
going.
that was good. You almost
See what-
had it.
I mean, this is just a quick little, you know, kick around. We'll workshop that, y'all.
Okay,
Yeah.
Get
that
back to
sounds
me.
good.
White sell it, we
Yeah.
call it in the
Yeah.
military. Yeah.
Sure.
We'll white sell that. Or red sell, excuse me.
Yeah, you can get people to put in votes for that as well. too.
Yeah, we could.
Focus group.
Focus,
Focus
group. Yeah.
group.
Think tank it.
Think tank. All right. Now we're wasting this late
wait,
time.
no.
Okay.
Actually,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I got to bring it back in. We do need to talk about one more thing. And this,
I don't know if I trust where this
Oh,
is
no.
going.
I'm a little worried.
actually,
Yes.
I am. Bills to pay attention to. There's some legislative stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
You
good
rock.
call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. So, it's important for people to understand, and I'll try and like really make this small because don't even think necessarily about kangaroos and exotic animals and all that.
Think
which
about
is what-
rights.
It's what, yeah, this is serious business. So, you know, some people don't really understand, like, you know, a bill is like an umbrella, you know? And what you think that the bill might be, see, Stella is in agreement.
Yeah,
she's in
she is
heart,
upset.
she's like, this is serious stuff. So you'll think that a bill is, for instance, there's a lot of states and cities and counties that have a bill, and it's called, the traveling circus animal, and, people were thinking, oh, well, that's about, bears and lions, and, oh, geez, we don't want anything to happen where they get loose or they get this or that. But when you read the bill, that's not really what it's about. And so if you don't allow this incredibly long list of animals, and there are mostly exotics, to travel, that means I cannot take my animal to a vet. I cannot take a little Joey that weighs 3 pounds.
It was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Can't take that to a school, to a nursing home, it really is. You have to pull back the layers and really look at what that bill is actually, because it's.
Well, they'll name it something like the Protection for Joeys Act or something.
Exactly. And it's even like the Big Cat Act. I mean, it's just people really need to, and it's not even just with animals, bills in general. We need to be paying more attention, and people need to understand that the laws in their city, they can trump your county, and your county can trump your state, and so you really need to know what's happening. And HSUS is not a government agency. The Humane Society of the United States it's a private industry.
It's a lobby.
All of this stuff, exactly. All of this stuff is public information. So people just kind of really need to know what's going on, because they're interested in continuing to get to a point where they're going to get to those livestock animals, and they're going to get to your dogs and your cats and all of that. So it's just really important that people know what's going on out there, and we are more than happy to, if they want to contact us, and specifically about the kangaroos and wallabies and what kind of legislation is hitting them. And voices really do matter, because I don't think when you were there that even guys came over and I'm like, all right, who's wearing Adidas, who's wearing Nike, who's wearing Puma on your feet?
That's a
and then
question
I'm
I
like,
wanted to ask you. Yep.
You can't come in if you're wearing those shoes. And people are like, what? I'm like, yep, because you're wearing kangaroos. So those
Really?
companies, that's just an example. So those companies use kangaroo leather for their shoes, and thankfully, though, with all of the voices, and one of the biggest one is David Beckham, when he found it, he was using them for soccer, shoes, because of how the leather is. There, as of 2024, Adidas and Nike will no longer be using kangaroo.
Awesome.
Cool.
So voices really do matter, but you kind of have to know what's going on. So just a little tip for consumerism, when you look at the materials of something you're buying, if it says K leather, it's kangaroo. If it says K meat, look at your dog food. Make sure if it says K meat, it's kangaroo meat. So, we just, there's a lot of, sometimes they make it obvious,
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
Interesting. Maybe that's something we can come back to on a later time. Maybe we could dive into a little bit more of the bills and a little bit more how we can.
I'm happy to do that. That's why I said I just make a really quick mention of it, because it's really. It's a difficult thing too. If it's not something that you, for whatever reason, with your job or something else, there isn't really, we don't come in contact with that as much.
Well, I think your mention of kind of the federalism and how we see things here and what can trump what. That so I've become more and more like an agorist, right? Like your house in 20 miles radius. Get really involved because you can trump things because it's supposed to be the lowest level, right? And so I don't know, maybe we should come back to that sometime.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, a lot of people really think that their city council doesn't really have that much power. Holy moly,
it does
they
within
do.
your city for sure.
They absolutely do. And you may think that if you fight something and you win, that's great. Well, guess what? It just takes another council member to come in, or an amendment, or anything. It's so really, especially this day and age. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh,
so
my gosh,
it's
so
important
much.
to know your rights, and to know what's what, and to know what you really believe in and what you really want to be supporting and fighting for.
100%.
And people will be surprised at how things are not necessarily what they think they were.
Right. Well, and I think you have to think a little bit, I don't want to say on a deeper level, that sounds kind of sinning, but you have to think past the initial feeling of things, because like, okay, you may not care about this, but what happens when it gets to something you do care about?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's what I mean. That bill that's an umbrella, you're like, oh, I don't really care if, they can't, be trucking tigers across the, but guess what? That means,
eventually it could be cows or horses or goats or whatever.
And they're already well stepped into that, arena as well too.
Absolutely.
So I'd be more than happy to, and certainly have other
should do a
people
lessons on liberty.
Open invitation to you here.
Yeah,
here at the
anytime.
old Siren.
I would love to.
We can always pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it after we go back and see, because I want to get my kids out there. I think they
Yeah,
would love it.
You gotta go check it out.
I mean, my
We had a
oldest
blast.
is trying to get me
Yeah.
to steal it now. So
The legislation it's kind of serious though. I mean, could we make a drinking game out of it? Or
absolutely,
something, you know, right?
yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
Theme song. I'm just a bill.
Yeah,
Only a bill.
yeah,
Shit.
absolutely.
I'm not garbage. I'm an amendment to be.
There you go. Good job.
He's good.
All right.
Good. Well, I mean, seriously, that was.
Well, thank
was
you
fun.
for having us.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I've been there. I've had a blast. You showed us a good time out there.
Yeah.
James is gonna
I
go.
will be there.
Good.
Now
Now you need to come back out for the coffee with the kangaroo.
I
which
know.
You've met.
do
and-
some
and
Joe with
everybody.
some Joeys.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Joey.
that stays away from the other
Yeah.
bad alliteration.
Yes.
You know?
No, that was
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
pretty creative though.
Joeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Awesome.
can use that. Take it.
Thanks. That's cool.
Java with Joey's or
Java
Cup
with
of Joe
Joey's.
with Joey
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whiskey with Waylon.
Yeah. Whiskey with Waylon and the
not what you thought.
boys.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
That's some good work shopping we did.
Think tank.
All right. Anything last call?
No, I'm good. Thank
All right.
you.
We had a
Thanks for
blast
having
with you.
us.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for bringing in
Waylon.
Waylon.
Yeah.
And that
Thanks
was
for
pretty
listening,
cool.
everybody.
See y'all later.